Welcome to Dialogues for Change. Life is not a void to be filled, it is a plenitude to be discovered. Today, I would like to share with you some very important thoughts by Amartya Sen on culture, identity, and choice. In some versions of communitarian thinking, it is presumed, explicitly or by implication, that one's identity with one's community must be the principal or dominant, perhaps even the only significant identity a person has. This conclusion can be linked to two alternative, related but distinct lines of reasoning. One line argues that a person does not have access to other community-independent conceptions of identity and to other ways of thinking about identity. Her social background, firmly based on community and culture, determines the feasible patterns of reasoning and ethics that are available to her. The second line of argument does not anchor the conclusion to perceptual constraints, but to the claim that identity is a matter of discovery anyway, and the communitarian identity will invariably be recognized to be of paramount importance, if any comparisons were to be made. To look first at the thesis of severe perceptual limitation, it often takes the form of an amazingly strong assertion. In some of the more fervent versions of the thesis, we are told that we cannot invoke any criterion of rational behavior other than those that obtain in the community to which the person involved belongs. Any reference to rationality yields the retort, which rationality? Whose rationality? It is also argued not only that the explanation of a person's moral judgment must be based on the values and norms of the community to which the person belongs, but also that these judgments can be ethically assessed only within those values and norms, which entails a denial of the claims of competing norms on the person's attention. Various versions of these far-reaching claims have been forcefully aired and powerfully advocated. This approach has had the effect of rejecting the feasibility of assessing, perhaps even comprehending, normative judgments about behavior and institutions across cultures and societies, and it has sometimes been used to undermine the possibility of serious cross-cultural exchange and understanding. This distancing sometimes serves a political purpose, for example in the defense of particular customs and traditions on such matters as women's unequal social position or the use of particular modes of conventional punishment, varying from amputation to the stoning of allegedly adulterous women. There is an insistence here on splitting up the large world into little islands that are not within intellectual reach of each other. These perceptual claims are certainly worth scrutinizing. There can be little doubt that the community or culture to which a person belongs can have a major influence on the way he or she sees a situation or views a decision. In any explanatory exercise, note has to be taken of local knowledge, regional norms, and particular perceptions and values that are common in a specific community. The empirical case for this recognition is certainly strong, but this does not in any plausible way undermine or eliminate the possibility and role of choice and reasoning about identity. This is so for at least two specific reasons. First, even though certain basic cultural attitudes and beliefs may influence the nature of our reasoning, they cannot invariably determine it fully. There are various influences on our reasoning, and we need not lose our ability to consider other ways of reasoning just because we identify with and have been influenced by membership in a particular group. Influence is not the same thing as complete determination, and choices do remain despite the existence and importance of cultural influences. Second, the so-called cultures need not involve any uniquely defined set of attitudes and beliefs that can shape our reasoning. Indeed, many of these cultures contain considerable internal variations, and different attitudes and beliefs may be entertained within the same broadly defined culture. For example, Indian traditions are often taken to be intimately associated with religion, and indeed in many ways they are. and yet Sanskrit and Pali have a larger atheistic and agnostic literature than any other classical language, Greek or Roman or Hebrew or Arabic. When a doctrinal anthology, such as the 14th century Sanskrit book Sarva Darshana Samgraha, literally translated as Collection of All Philosophies, presents 16 chapters respectively sympathetic to 16 different positions on religious issues, beginning with atheism, the aim is to cater to informed and discerning choice rather than to indicate incomprehension of each other's positions. Our ability to think clearly may, of course, vary with training and talent, but we can, as adult and competent human beings, question and begin to challenge what has been taught to us, if we are given the opportunity to do so. While particular circumstances may not sometimes encourage a person to engage in such questioning, the ability to doubt and to question is not beyond our reach. The point is often made, plausibly enough, that one cannot reason from nowhere. But this does not imply that no matter what the antecedent associations of a person are, those associations must remain unchallenged, unrejectable, and permanent. The alternative to the discovery view is not choice from positions unencumbered with any identity, as some communitarian polemicists seem to imply, but choices that continue to exist even in any encumbered position one happens to occupy. Choice does not require jumping out of nowhere into somewhere, but it can lead to move from one place to another. These are very, very, very important thoughts to ponder. It's very important to take into account our culture, our beliefs, our rootings. But at the same time, it is very, very important to be aware of the underlying openness to others, to doubt, to change. So I hope that these beautiful thoughts, thought-provoking thoughts by Amartya Sen inspired you on this Saturday, 28th of April 2012. Thank you.